Alright, so today I just thought I'd bring you guys a quick session I had on Katarina the other day. Our first game is going to be against Eddie. I know a lot of you ask me for tips on how to deal with Eddie, and I'm going to make a video on it exclusively at some point. It's just that I have so many videos I want to make right now. But a general tip I can give you is find out if your character has a very long range mid with a low hitbox. So a good example for Katarina would be her 443, and the reason for that is, you know, Eddie starts jumping around in all of his stances and doing all of his patterns, and you can sort of come in from afar and break that up with one of those moves, but you need to know that your move is going to be able to hit him even when he's in his stances. And because Katarina's 443 is ground hitting mid, I know it's going to hit both relaxed and AOP duck comfortably, which is very important. And with Miguel I use his Ford 2+3, which is a very low hitting long range mid that you know, it hits so low that it will catch side rollers and stuff. So find out what options you have with your character. So we take the first round here, barely, with the Katarina Rage Drive. It's normally used as a wall ender, but it does a decent chunk of damage when you just use it like normally. Get in a hop kick here. Not exactly an optimal wall combo, but here I get the wall splat off of the command throw. Katarina's command throw doesn't give consistent wall splats at all. It's very range and angle dependent. It's not like Kazumi's version at all. But you sort of learn to get a feel for when and where you can place it when you play her a bit. And then you can do a wall ender for really good damage. And yeah, here he eats the magic fork. So that's going to be the first game. And this is just a game I had left over. Then I went to England, so we're going to jump forward a bit here in time. And then this last session here is, these last couple of games is just I think 2 days ago. I played a lot of Xiaoyu's, so we got this guy first here. You can see he has a decent, pretty fast backdash. And he's blocking a lot. He's not allowing me to connect with my counter hits at all. By just blocking the strings, which is the correct way to deal with that, so he's doing that well. Xiaoyu is so strong in this game. I mean, famously strong. Top 2 on anybody's list. I think the only character, like in my opinion, overall, that's even stronger is Devil Jin. But you can see me get a lot of traction again off of the 443, and there I finish with Katarina's Power Crush. It's not a move I used to use at all with her. I didn't think it was very good, but now that I played so much Miguel, and Miguel's back 4 is very useful. Katarina's is slower, it feels slower, but it's similar, and so it's crept into my my Katarina sort of repertoire as well, and I actually quite like it now. Power crushes can be very, very useful when you have life leads, and so you can afford to gamble, because even if you get block punish, it's not going to be huge most of the time, right? And if you armor through something, you can take the round. So here we get a hop kick. I think what I did there is, yeah, I saw Xiaoyu sidestep right. It's a general tip I want to give you when Xiaoyu starts randomly sidestepping right. A lot of the time she's going to do a low because she has good options, and she also has her snake edge out of her sidestep, her low launcher, which is why you got to be really careful when she starts randomly sidestepping like that. It's likely to be a low. So we take that first game. Now we're going to go into the next one. We actually end up revenge matching this guy. And if I remember correctly, he really turtles up really tight in the second game. So I had to get a little bit creative with lows and stuff to open him up. Oh, and it's a demotion match for my opponent as well, which is, you know, when somebody has a demotion match, that's usually when you get a switch in play style. Usually they become a little bit more reckless and aggressive, but this guy goes the other way and becomes more defensive instead, which I think is a much better choice. He's not going to eat that setup, but he eats that hop kick. Could have done 2 down for 1s there probably. There I did down for 2-4, and then I did a standing 4. That down for 2-4 string is plus on block, so that standing 4 will trade with jabs, which is what you saw happen there. And if I'm just going to eat a counter hit, you know, 1 jab from my opponent, but they're going to eat my countered standing 4, that's usually a very favorable trade for Katarina, so that's good. And then if they do anything slower than 10 frames, then you obviously get your counter hit launcher, so that's very good. It's like a classic setup tool for the counter hit 4. So you can see he's playing very defensively. We're having a little bit of a stally game, and so I get impatient and I just check him with a sweep, and it turns out he's going to eat it, so that allows me to take that round. And again, you can see there's a lot of blocking going on right now. Like no hits yet, and the clock has gone down quite a bit. It's a nice interrupt on my 4-4-3. I was able to read that low for the okay, it's a common thing with Xiaoyu to stay down and do that low, so I blocked that, gave him a couple of full crouch down 4-4s. There you can see the angle of the 4-4-3 didn't allow for the guaranteed follow-up because of a bad angle, and here I'm just able to kill him with the down for 1-1 hold forward into Harrier 4, which is Katarina's best damage option at the wall if you're not going to do her stomp at the guaranteed up back 4, which I think is difficult enough to do and inconsistent enough that you shouldn't really do it in competitive games unless you've practiced it a lot and you're really confident in your ability to land it, which I'm not. And you see even very good Katarina players mess that option up, like the timing of it, and when they do, they usually get punished really hard for it, so I prefer not to gamble, you know. He hits me with a snake edge on the ground. Oscar is a really scary character online, long range, some really crazy damage in well, depending on what she hits with. Just her standard combos are not that super impressive, I guess. So there's an example of me using Harrier up for the 3 to make my opponent duck. It's like a pretty good mix-up tool, and then hitting them with that for the guaranteed up back 4. It's a very solid damage option and a great mix-up. And look at this sequence here he does for his wall Loki. You get the sense that he's done that like a million times before. It all flowed very smoothly, no hesitation, and I ate all of it for the perfect, so nice. Here he baits me into down for 2. And he attempts to do the exact same thing again, like the exact same follow-ups. So this time I'm able to predict the low because it was the exact same thing, right? And here he goes to the full crouch, and then you got to be careful of the full crouch down 4-2, which is like a counter hit launcher. So I hop kick that, and I'm able to make it out of the corner barely. So I got a little bit lucky there. And here, after that hit, he's just at a range where that command grab is going to kill him. So I attempt that and I get it. He's going to start out sidewalking here, so I do a tracking move, the low sweep, and it connects. That was a big risk. I get a nice life lead here, and he does a Demon Slayer. Oh, he does his own sweep, and then he does a Demon Slayer, which is a launch punishable move, so he's going to eat a hop kick for that. When you do block that move, you need to make sure you punish it hard. Wall messes up his little combo there, unfortunately, and so I just do a cheeky little steal for the round with the 1-4 there. Which is a typical little tool for when you just need like an extra hit with Katarina. It's very liable to get low parried against good players though. It's dangerous to use at the end of the round for that reason, but usually it's fast enough that you get away with it. So I didn't edit this little interlude here out because I think I found the next game really quickly. So I just decided to leave it in. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like matchmaking is a little bit faster and a little bit smoother since the latest patch. I don't know if that is just my own wishful thinking. And I also assume that it depends on where you live, you know, what region you're in. But we have a lot of people here in South Japan who play this game, so even when I'm playing at slightly higher ranks, I tend to run into like different people every single game. It's a lot of fun. So here we get a Law, I think, yeah, which is always nerve-wracking. His damage is huge, and Law is one of those characters who, you know, he's gonna, if you don't play tight, if you don't deal with him properly, if you let him get away with stuff, you're gonna feel stupid and you're gonna lose hard. Yeah, it's almost like taking a written exam sometimes fighting against Law. So he's not going to need to counter hit 4, he punishes the hop kick. He could have probably punished harder, but it was good enough. That's a mistake by me because that 443 was a counter hit, which meant I could have actually done a full combo, but I didn't react in time, so I just did the guaranteed follow-up. And sidestep down 3 for the wall. Okay, it's just a habit I still have in me from all my Gigas play, but it works for Katarina as well because her down 3 is a decent low poke. Here it is a junkyard. You can see that I didn't properly low parry the junkyard, which is what you need to do. It's the proper way to deal with that string, and it's very important. But if you do not low parry it, like I failed to do right there, just keep it blocking and don't start trying to like interrupt it or get fancy or anything. Because if you just block the whole thing, then you're just gonna eat the small amount of damage that the low gives, and then when he finishes the string, typically at least on the lower ranks, when that final hit of junkyard gets blocked, Law very often goes straight into an armor move that can be sidewalked, or depending on your character, even block punished. But that's a digression. Okay, so. Now I'm starting to smell the promotion here, but he does a very nice block here on the down back 3 and puts me in a lot of frame traps. You know, retains the momentum, does it again here. Nice low poke. Well, you can see, I don't know if you noticed, but he set up his counter hit 4 string. I did it straight after his jab, so like a couple of times. So it's like a pattern that he's repeating, and that's actually what's going to end up allowing me to take the game. If you see here in a while, he's going to do the exact same thing. So I decided to try and go under those. I think it's counter hit 4-3 he's going for. I don't know Law's move list. With just a high crush move. I think it's going to come up right here. Yeah, and that's what allows me to launch him for the game and the promotion. So just a quick little session, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you and bye-bye.